Let's talk. Yeah. Let's talk about it. We're back here today, yeah? We're in a different location. We're down here on 38th. It's a fish spot called The Hook.
Good fish. With special guest, Chris Dunlap. He's gracing the show today. Good show, appreciate you.
Yeah, appreciate y'all having me. I'm happy to be here. Do one thing, man. You gotta hide the Aquafina. They ain't paying yet, so nothing free. I'm trying to cover up there. Trying to cover up my energy drink.
We got a sponsorship yet.
Yeah.
As far as guests talking about that with the sponsorship.
Yeah, it'll come.
Yeah, that's why we got him to teach us that kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? But tell me a little bit about yourself, Chris. And
yeah, for sure. My name is Chris Dunlap. I am a Kansas City boy. In the hat that I have on tonight on the podcast is on behalf of New Wall Street. I'm a co-creator, educator of New Wall Street, which is an investment fin ed tech. And I say that because we use financial education, and then we use technology to push it out to the masses in our community and beyond. It's an investment community. Our goal is to educate as many people as possible on the power of investing in things like traditional stocks and bonds, as well as bleeding edge things like cryptocurrencies and NFTs in the metaverse.
Cool. Right. Now for people, what you know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people don't really, in our community, don't really think about NFTs and crypto and stuff. You know what I'm saying? They're more invested in maybe like real estate, restaurants and stuff. What made you go that route?
I guess I have a keen sense of being able to see around corners and look at the future. And I started learning about cryptocurrencies back in 2013, 2014. I used to work at a startup company with some guys that were pretty tech savvy, and then one of my close friends is all into the space, right? He put me on and introduced me to it. And when I read the white paper about Bitcoin, the conspiracy theorist in me started getting happy. Like, yo, if anything happens to the dollar, we have something that we can fall back on. It's not like gold, because nobody can carry around 1,000 bars of gold if you got your whole life savings in it. But something like cryptocurrency that you can store on a flash drive is portable, right? So if something happened to the dollar, you got this to back up on, and there's no limitations to what you can purchase globally with it. So that's what really got me into it. And then as the NFT started coming around and I started seeing the applications, I saw beyond just the images. People were like, oh, this is just digital art. I started thinking of everything else that can be done with it. And pretty much anything that's in real time today, you mentioned real estate, right? You can mint a deed to a house on the blockchain, where right now somebody can go down to the office and file a fake claims deed on your house and move in and take it over.
Okay.
But if you got
like North
Carolina, Texas is real big. You come home from a vacation and somebody in your house and you have no legal right to kick them out because they filed this fake deed, you know what I'm saying, under their name at your house. Yeah. Well, on the blockchain, if that deed is minted on the blockchain, I can go down to the corner, to the courthouse and say, look, you can see at this point is when I purchased this deed. This can't, since I own this deed, non-fungible is the NFT piece of it. Non-fungible meaning that it can't be replicated or duplicated.
That's what NFT means?
Yeah, non-fungible token. Okay. Right, so it can't be duplicated or replicated. So as long as I got that evidence of my digital deed to my house, and I go down to the courthouse and show them that, there's no disputing it, that it's my property. Okay. You know what I'm saying? So that's the beauty of it, and that's what you're going to start seeing happen here in the next couple of years, that almost anything that's been an issue with fraudulent activity in the spirit that we're in now is going to start being minted on the blockchain and used as NFTs.
Okay. Because that's a good way to put it, because I'm going to be honest with you, up until like this year, I didn't even know what NFTs and crypto and Bitcoin and all that really was, as far as, educating myself with it, you know what I'm saying? But now I'm starting to see that's the way that we're going in that, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now I heard you keep mentioning Bitcoin.
Yeah.
About this week, I heard Warren Buffett said that Bitcoin is worthless.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts on that?
Man, I saw that too, and I posted on Facebook that, man, Warren just be saying anything, right? Because you got to think about it. He said if he could buy all the Bitcoin right now for $25, he wouldn't. That right there is the silliest statement I've ever heard. You know what I'm saying? You got Bitcoin at $38,000. There's 19 million in circulation. If you could get all 19 million for $25, you wouldn't? Yeah. Come on, man. That's an exaggeration.
But there's a lot of people that follow Warren Buffett.
Absolutely.
With him saying that, does that hurt Bitcoin any?
Not at all, because the people that follow Warren Buffett aren't the people that are going to be looking towards the future and tech savvy. You got to understand Warren Buffett, not taking anything from him. He's one of the greatest investment minds that we've seen, but he's a dinosaur. You know what I'm saying? And if I'm 90 years old, I don't have to figure out anything new. I'm already a billionaire, and I'm, you know what I'm saying? Right, you know, I'm close to the grave. I don't have to figure anything out new. And you got to also believe, like I said, what cryptocurrency does is it relieves the barriers to anything that we want to do. And if I'm somebody that's owed money, that's a threat to me. You know what I'm saying? It's decentralized, which means there won't be any central bank that controls it. If all my money's in a central bank and people start going to run on the bank and putting it in cryptocurrency because it democratizes and gives the power to the people, that scares me.
You know, and it's crazy too to say that in anything, not just crypto and NFTs, the way the world is now, a lot of the old folks, they stuck in their ways. They don't want to change. So it's like the change is scaring them. In any kind of business, you know what I'm saying? In political, even in the White House, political, they see the young people are driving and moving to change this country, and they're scared now. So they, you know, they're running because they're stuck in their old ways, man. They're not trying to move this country forward and nothing, man. It's just a lot of old folks.
How hard is it to get into the stock market?
It's not hard, but I want to say two more things about Warren Buffett. First, you got to remember this is the same guy who told Bill Gates that nobody would want a personal computer in their home. So he's fallible. He's missed too, right?
He ain't being mentioned at all.
He's got a lot of things right, but he's missed some things. And then on the other side, he's actually invested in Bitcoin mining companies. Now, he may not. Now, I don't believe that he doesn't hold any type of cryptocurrencies personally, right? Because a lot of times what I see is when they tell you to not buy something, they're loading up on it. We saw it with JP Morgan when they were all against Bitcoin also. And then we come out and say they got Bitcoin Trust and they've been hoarding Bitcoin all these years. Same with Warren Buffett. But he's also invested in companies that mine Bitcoin. If you believe it's worthless, why are you putting hundreds, 200 millions of dollars funding these companies that are in the cryptocurrency space? Doesn't make sense. But it's hard to get into the stock market or cryptocurrency. It's not, and that's the beauty of it, right? Is that there's no real barrier of interest to do this. I don't have to go to a bank and show any type of a credit score to get cryptocurrency or to open up an account. I don't have to
get in the stock market. You need cryptocurrency, or is there a certain dollar amount that you would need to get into the stock market? How would one that, let's say if I'm 13 years old, and I got $500, and I'm like, I want to invest in the stock market or something. How quick could I get a turnaround on my money? Or would you suggest me even investing $500? Is that too low of a number to try to jump into the stock market with?
I would suggest you start with whatever you can start with. And for a 13-year-old, now, as far as the stock market, you wouldn't be able to jump in on your own, but your parents can start a custodial account, which allows them guardianship over that account until you turn 18, and then they can hand it over to you. But you can start that with any amount. And you got to think about it. I'm 13 years old. If I put $500 into an account, and then let's say I can put $50 in there every month by the time I'm 18, I'm going to have a few bands, and I'm not talking one or two. I'm talking maybe 5 to 10 based on the growth of the stock that you're invested in.
And see, that's where I get kind of confused. I would think that $500 would multiply. It
Absolutely.
You have to keep adding money to it, or
not necessarily, but you will want to, right?
Just to make your
because
the more you add to it, the more you can get back.
Once you invest, you want to become an investor, right? But yeah, you don't necessarily have to. Like, let's say the S&P 500 over the last 5 years has grown 100%. Right, so even if I put that 500 in and don't do anything for the next 5 years, and the S&P 100 still gives the same returns, that 500 is going to be $1,000 for me not doing anything. But you want to build on top of that because of the power of compounding interest, right? Which means that the interest builds on top of the interest on top of the interest, and everything that you put in is going to be building on top of that too. So you definitely want to continue investing, and the younger you are, the better it is.
Yeah, because and it's funny you say that too, because. And we talked about this a little bit off before the show, is that this isn't being taught in our community.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because when we were in school, they wasn't teaching like get credit and stocks, markets, and none of that stuff. You know what I'm saying? So, and I think that's where our community lacks it right now. But I'm glad that guys like you around are teaching it now and have a following. Because it's just going to move the younger generation forward. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we would hope so.
You know, you mean?
Are they teaching any classes like this in high school now?
I think so. I did read that Florida, I believe, is now making financial literacy standard in their classes, and I can see more states and cities following suit. But you got to remember, though, for the longest time, so we're a capitalist society. Mm-hmm. In order for capitalism to survive, you have a pyramid, right? So you have to have people at the top in different levels, and then a pyramid comes out like this. Mm-hmm. If you don't have people down here, nobody's going to keep the pyramid up.
Yeah.
Right. And in the last year, the stock market made 100 more millionaires. Mm. So if you teach everybody this at an early age, and the entire community, the entire society knows about this, who's going to be down here? If everybody has the opportunity to really become a millionaire. Now you can, but now when you have something that can really empower the masses to do that, why would they want to teach you that? That's just collapsing society. If everybody's a millionaire, because you see when wages increase, so does everything around you.
Yes.
Right?
Everything.
So everything's going to be more expensive. They have to keep that balance.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
I got another quick question for you.
Yeah.
This Metaverse.
Yeah.
Does Metaverse play anything with the stock market? Or is that something we should know about?
Yeah.
You being the old head? Or is that something just all the younger generation needs to know about?
Nah, if you want to make money in anything, you want to learn. Right?
What is Metaverse?
Yeah, so the Metaverse is just an overlay of our reality, really, right? In most cases. Now, some of it is gamified, like Minecraft and stuff like that, and Roblox. That's all Metaverse, right? Even 2K, where you create a character, that's all Metaverse. It just now became that name called Metaverse, right? But you definitely want to know about it because you have your traditional companies that are still the underlying technology of the Metaverse. Your NVIDIA's for your graphic cards, your Microsoft and your AWS and your Googles for the internet connectivity. So you definitely want to know about what companies are behind it, because if these companies are saying that the Metaverse is a $1 to $10 trillion opportunity, you want to be invested in some of those companies, even if you don't want to get into the whole crypto and the NFT pieces and the Metaverse lands and buying down like Sandbox and stuff.
That's where I'm getting confused. Is Metaverse like a game though? Is virtual reality or what is it?
Yeah, so some of it's gaming, but it's virtual reality. The Metaverse is all it is, like I said, it's like a digital twin of reality. Remember the movie Ready Player One, where you're able to bounce all over from different places, or Nice Guy, that movie? That's all the Metaverse is. It's a virtual reality. Some of it can look like our world, right? They have this Metaverse platform called Earth 2, which is basically just Earth, but you can buy up plots of I could buy the Hook in the Metaverse, right, and own that. And then rent out space in the Metaverse to people who actually buy that because they're building a whole community within the Metaverse.
That's where I'm getting confused at. Metaverse is not real though. So why were people investing in it?
What's real?
Like the Metaverse?
What's real?
Yeah, well, I'm just now getting on the Metaverse train, so I'm just a little...
Yeah, real is what you put value to.
Yeah.
Now it becomes real.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, the dollar wasn't real until it got backed by gold.
Yeah.
Right? The Chinese created the dollar because when they used to travel, the coins were too heavy. So we had to have some other exchange of an IOU or a note, and now it became real. Now, when they introduced that to other people, they're like, man, what the heck is this paper? No, give me that silver coin.
Yeah.
Same thing with the Metaverse. What do you mean? What is this? No, man, give me that real estate.
Yeah.
But then you realize that the Metaverse connects people that you typically wouldn't be connected with. I could talk to somebody over in China and project out a room that looks just like this, and we'll be sitting in a podcast seeing this person like we're talking to one another.
Yeah, see, now that part I don't know about.
It's the connectivity of it.
Yeah. Okay. It's kind of like the thing you bought your son for Christmas.
Exactly.
Yeah, the virtual reality. That's why I was wondering. And so that in order to go to the meta world, do you have to put on one of those, and now you're in the meta world?
Yeah, for the best experiment. The best experience, you would have to do that. Now you can play within the games without having that, right? You can go in Sandbox and play around, but to get immersed in it, you have to have on the goggles.
Can people actually find a job doing that though?
Yeah. Creating?
Creating. I know creating the meta world, but being in the meta world. Will there be jobs for that?
You have digital real estate investors right now.
Wow.
Digital real estate agents right now.
That's why it's people trying to get ahead of this ship right now and buying land in this. Because I heard somebody purchase something over $1 million in this right now already.
$1 million.
To have one car that nobody else has.
Yeah. So I tell people all the time, it's going to come a point to where the term reality is going to be so blurred that it's not going to be a virtual reality and reality. It's going to be called reality. In the Metaverse, you already got nightclubs, You got digital real estate agents that are already doing this stuff. People are hosting seminars within the metaverse. Your son probably attended the Travis Scott concert.
Yes,
that was
I
in the
had to pay for
metaverse.
that. I think I did.
Yeah, within the metaverse.
I think that was the first thing that they had.
Yeah, and so
it actually made me look at it.
Yeah, and then you got to think about too. There's going to come a time when you could get off work, get into the metaverse, and now I'm a bouncer at a club in the metaverse.
Well, I just seen something on the news where they have something where you can kiss in or mouth something feels just like you're either kissing or
they're creating full body suits.
Yeah. So you already know what road that can go down.
So for a young guy or a young generation coming up, for investing, what is probably the way to go as far as getting started investing in like just jumping off the porch? What would you recommend?
Probably traditional stocks. Like I said, some of those stocks that I mentioned that are been around, going to be around, continually growing, that are at the forefront of the metaverse. I would look at that. And then the next layer is like, what are the tokens that are powering the metaverse, right? Like I said, like you got Gala Coin, which is a token that powers the gamification within the metaverse. So people will have to use these different coins in different areas of the metaverse to buy things like the car, or buy lots of land or stuff like that, or plots of land. Sorry. So you can start looking at that, and then you can just start doing things like building. If you don't have the funding to pay and buy something in the metaverse, start building in the metaverse. Go into Roblox and build out a mansion and sell it to somebody in the marketplace.
Wow.
You can do that.
My kids do that all. They got so many mansions and stuff. It's amazing to me.
And that's the thing that we miss, right? Your kids already have that skill set.
Yeah.
Now, if you get them into some of these places like Sandbox or Axie land, these different lands, they can build that stuff, put it into the marketplace, and they won't even have to go to college. If your son sells $300,000-$500,000 mansions within the metaverse, why would
But
you
does
go
it
to
cost
college?
them to build this stuff?
No.
They're building for free and just taking it and put it on the meta and sell
It depends on which game that you're in, right? There's some that are free that you can just go in, build, and you put it in the marketplace and sell it. Like, it doesn't cost me to create an NFT. I can create an NFT, put it on OpenSea, and sell it free of charge. I don't have to. It doesn't cost me anything except time to create.
OpenSea is what, like a website that you would trade and sell that type of stuff?
It's like eBay for NFTs.
Okay.
So it's a marketplace for NFTs. It's like one of the biggest ones for Ethereum based, which is a type of cryptocurrency and a type of a blockchain where NFTs are built and minted on.
Now, the book that you have out, does it mention all of this stuff in it? Does it break everything that you're talking about right now?
So the book, the way we created the book, we did an ebook, and the reason why we did that is because we wanted it to be iterative, which means that we can do updates whenever we feel like it. So again, we want to take advantage of technology too. Yeah. So when you purchase the book, it starts out with stocks. We got to get you at the foundation level of just investing, period. And we're going to start with stocks.
Yeah.
But then we're going to start getting into crypto, and then there's going to be an iteration that gets into the NFTs. Then there's going to be an iteration that gets into the metaverse, and then there's going to be an iteration that gets into play to earn, which allows you to play within the metaverse and earn cryptocurrency that can be exchanged into dollars if you want to. So we're going to continue adding on to it. So it's going to be ever changing and ever learning for people that purchase the book.
That's dope. That's dope, man, for real. Because you said
I just purchased the book.
You just purchased the book.
And like I said, I'm on the website, but I just haven't found your guys' link on there yet.
For the Discord.
Yeah, for the Discord.
So I'll send you an email with the Discord link. So typically what happens is once you purchase, it auto sends out an email, but I've been updating it every couple of days.
So you have a group that's in there right now?
Yeah. So we have about, I think now it's maybe 70 in the Discord right now. And what we do in the Discord is the people who have read the book and got that foundation, we help you take it to the next level. Okay. We have calls within the Discord where it's an AMA, it's called Ask Me Anything, where it's like, okay, I've read the book, I still don't understand this, that, or the other. Cool, let's talk through that. Let's get you up to speed to where you can start really making educated plays within the market.
Yes.
And then on top of that, we drop information about NFTs. I do call outs on, hey, these are some NFTs that I'm looking at that I'm really bullish. So bullish is an NFT term that means that I'm excited about it and I think it's going to go up and do well. So we drop information about that. We talk about cryptocurrencies, and we actually drop plays in the group every day. Every morning, I do charts. Every single morning, I do charting at 8 a.m. I drop plays in there. So when the market opens at 8:30, you got 5 to 6 plays that you can start looking at to get in based on what you can afford to get into a play.
How much would it cost to run a play?
It depends. So we have plays like, 2 days ago before the Fed spoke, I dropped a play about the SPY 500, which is the 500 biggest companies that are in the index fund.
Tesla and all that.
Although Tesla's newly into it about a year ago, with Tesla, Apple, all those within the SPY 500, I dropped a play in there about a call in the SP, and after the Fed spoke and talked about not doing big hikes on interest rates, it caused the market to have a little bit of a bounce, and that call was $28.
Okay.
And you could turn that $28 into a couple of hundred.
Yeah.
Now, if something like that happened and I bought it for like $12, then it went up to $28,
You sell it.
immediately, or do you let that sit for a whole year and then you?
So you have stock options, which is more short term that you're doing a play. Right, I'm looking at a chart within a certain time frame. I think it's going to move up or down, because you can make money in the market if it goes up or if it goes down. That's what a lot of people don't know. When you trade stock options, if the market crashes, I can make money in that too. Like today, we put in put plays, which means I believe that the stock is going to go down, so I'm betting against the stock, right? And so we put in 4 put plays today, and all of them hit, and they printed out. You know what I'm saying? Because when you do stock options, again, you can make money going up or going down. So when you're doing an option, it's more short term, right? Most places are short term, maybe a day, but a lot of times we do intraday trading, which means I'm gonna get into a play at 8:30, 8:45, and it's gonna go up a couple of $100, and I'm gonna cash out by 9 o'clock and get ready for my day.
Is there any way you can ever buy insurance on the stock? Let's say if I bought it in 5, stock went up to 12, but the next day it dropped down to like 4. But I bought in at 5 to make sure that I didn't get hit or lose any money. Could I buy insurance on that so whatever I bought in it doesn't drop below that, and I can still at least remain comfortable with where I'm at?
Yeah, so it's not insurance, but it's called a stop loss, which means that I want to stop my losses at this certain amount. So if I buy at $5, I want my stop loss to be at $5,
Yes.
right? So if it goes up to 12 and it comes back down, as long as it hits $5, it'll cash me out and I'll break even.
Do you do that?
Yeah.
You use that on all of your stocks?
Not on all of them, right? So like I said, if I see a play going in a direction and I have time to watch it, I'm just going to get in it, let it go to the percentage that I want to make for that day, and I'm going to get out. Now, if I have a busy day and I see a play and I'm like, cool, I'm going to get in it, I don't have time to watch it, I'm going to put my play in, I'm going to do my stop loss. So if it go against me, I'm not going to lose much if I lose anything. But if it goes in my favor and I come back and it's up, I can then cash out.
Now, with insurance, you put it in on that stock, would it generally cost more than that stock, or would it be less than that stock that you bought?
So I think we're talking about 2 different things. So we have stocks, right, which are just buying shares of a company, and those are things that you hold for long term, right? You want to hold those for long term. Then you have stock options, which are those plays that you look in, determining on if the stock's going to go up or down. You can have those plays. Now, those stock options, there's a premium that you pay.
Yes.
To get the opportunity to buy that stock option, right? But it's more than the cost of the stock in some cases, because it's a premium on top of it, right?
Yes.
But again, you have those stop losses to where even if it stops you out, you don't lose your premium, you just break even.
And that'd be the person that you bought the insurance from would be the person that took that hit.
Exactly.
If it was a hit on it.
If it was a hit on it. And yeah.
So Web3.
Web3.
What's that?
Man. Ooh. Good question. So, all right. So you have Web 1, Web 2, Web 3, of course. So Web 1 was when the internet first started, right? You had like basically all your libraries were moved to the internet, so you can get all this information out there. Like, oh, Wikipedia, I got this information. That's Web 1. Web 2 was when we started interacting with it, right? Now you got your applications that require all your information. You got your Facebook that requires all your information. That's Web 2. Web 1, we consume the information. Web 2, the information is consuming us, and they're taking our data and using our data.
Okay.
Web 3 is now democratized that to where I own my data, because the only way that I'm identified on the internet is through my Ethereum or Bitcoin wallet when I connect to these different websites.
Okay.
But I retain all that. In order for you to get my data now, I have to say, okay, I will sell you my data. So now I control it. So Web3 is democratizing it and giving the power back to the people. And it's also giving you that sense of anonymity.
Okay.
Yeah. So is Web3 like if I'm searching a lot of different things on the website, nobody can gather that information and know what I'm like looking at, or is that what Web3 is?
Not necessarily. That's just being incognito, right? No. Web3 is what helps you interact with the metaverse, right?
So that don't got nothing to do with solicitors just calling your phone because they all know what you're looking at on the internet and none of that type of stuff.
I mean, to To a degree, yeah, but it's more so connecting with certain sites, not just the internet abroad. It's like not all sites are Web3 compatible right now.
It's kind of controlling your own identity, where at first you kind of didn't control your own
sure.
identity on there.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's cool. So, I seen you do a, was that a podcast y'all did with the panel with the Wall Street, the TikTok?
Oh, the TikTok. Yeah, so it was the launch party for our ebook. Mm-hmm. So we wanted to do something different. We did it moderated style, sort of like a podcast or like a conference, but we wanted it to be like an educational day party. Mm-hmm. So we brought in the things like we had the DJ, we had the lounges, we had the food and the wine and all that type of stuff. And so there was a lot of interaction. So it wasn't just Q&A. Right now, there was an aspect of that, but we also broke it up. We just want to bring something different to the city.
Okay, that was cool. So I see you got something coming up this month. Yeah, coming up. So tell them a little bit about what you got coming up this month.
Yeah, so this month, it's not something that I'm throwing. It's just something that I'm a part of. Okay. It's an event that someone's having about how artists, not just graphic artists, but musical artists, film artists, whatever type of artistry that you're in, how you can leverage NFTs to get residual income from your creation. Because a lot of times, if I sell, like, let's say I have 1,000 CDs, right? Mm-hmm. I know we don't do CDs anymore, but to simplify, if I have 1,000 CDs and I sell those for $10 a piece, I get $10,000. Mm-hmm. I don't get anything else after that $10,000 unless I create more. Yeah. If I have an NFT and I put my music on an NFT and I sell 1,000 NFTs, I can put a creator's royalty on that. Let's say 10%. Really? So I can sell my NFTs, right? Same amount of money. Let's say $10. I sell 1,000, make $10,000 on that time. But then if you go sell my NFT to somebody else, I get 10% on that.
How do you?
And then if it goes somewhere else, I get 10% on that. So I get 10% for the rest of my life on my body of work. Yeah. And you trace it because it's on the blockchain. I'm the originator, so when I mint everything on the blockchain, I say that I am the creator of this. And so every time it gets resold, it automatically gives me my percentage. So it's freedom.
That's something that's going to change the game.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's going to change the game and help a lot of people make money that they wasn't getting, you know what I'm saying, in the beginning. I seen Elon Musk talk about a little bit about the NFTs kind of falling here. What's your opinion on that? He was kind of laughing at it.
When you're buying Twitter, does that affect the stock market?
So yeah, it can affect the stock market because Elon Musk, he's like a market mover. Mm-hmm. Like when he says stuff, things happen because you have this cult following behind Elon Musk. Yeah. Same with Donald Trump. When he used to say things, people would panic, right? Yeah. Elon Musk is like a master manipulator. I think he does things to get a kick out of people, right? But it's interesting that he says NFTs are falling when Tesla has fallen from 1,200 to 886, you know what I'm saying, in the last month. Mm-hmm. Like the whole market's down. Yeah. Crypto's down, NFTs down, the stock market's down.
But it got to go back up though, right?
Yeah, things are definitely going to go back up.
So that's why you buy into it right now. Great.
Exactly. You buy with things. Now, you don't just buy because something's low. It still has to be a solid project if it's an NFT or a solid company if it's a stock. You have a lot of people that's like, oh, this stock was once $100, now it's $20, I'm going to buy it. That doesn't necessarily mean that the stock's going to go back up. Some companies are just bad companies, right? And that happens. Yeah. But like I said, with Elon, it's just funny because Tesla's down also. Yeah. But I like Tesla. I'm a Tesla fanboy. Me too. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Tesla's at $800. I'm buying Tesla.
Did Google just drop too?
Google just dropped too. Amazon just,
was it Amazon?
Both of them.
120 a share, right?
Yeah, Google's down from its all-time high about $500. Amazon's down about like $600 from its all-time high. That's just how the market goes.
Can I ask a question about that right quick? So if I bought into Google at 120 a share, how much do I have to let that sit for a whole year before I see a return on that? Or how would you suggest play that out? Is that something you would do?
Oh, you mean when it splits?
Yeah.
Yeah, when it splits and it comes down to about 120 a share, yeah, you're gonna Google, Amazon, Apple, even Tesla, even as volatile as it is, some companies you just want to hold forever because they're going to continue to go up. You got to think about when we talk about an Amazon, a Google, a Tesla, and a Microsoft and an Apple. These are companies that over the life of these companies have gone up over thousands %.
Now, let me ask you this question. You said if I could buy it at 120, is that something that I need to put insurance on to make sure that it won't drop below that?
That's not an option. That's just a straight share. Oh. Now, it can drop below that for sure.
Then I would lose it, right? I lose all my money.
You lose when you sell.
Yeah. What do you mean by that?
if you sell it if you buy it at 120 and it goes down to 90, you're going to lose $30. But if you buy it at 120, just because it goes down doesn't mean anything, because it's a long-term hold. It's Google. You know what I'm saying? If it goes down to 90 and you hold it for a year, most likely it's going to go back up to 150, 160, 170, 180. So that's not something that I will panic on. And a lot of people do that. They see something drop and they panic sell.
So did I make it? If I bought it at 120 and it's been a whole year and it's still at 120, did I make any money, or am I just cutting even?
You're cutting even if you sell it.
But I'm gonna lose if you said if I sell it 90.
If you sell it at any point below the
What
point
y'all
that you buy in, you're going to lose. Okay. But again, I'm talking about when you buy long-term stocks into companies that you believe in, like you're using an Intel right now. What's this, an Apple Watch?
Yeah.
These companies that you're already using, you believe in them. Hold them. Why would you get rid of them? These are companies that historically do very, very well. There's no need to sell them.
Can you still buy it at 120 right now with Google?
It hasn't split yet.
It's coming up.
Yes, when a stock splits. Now,
I want to do that move. I do want to.
Yeah, for sure. I would definitely say do that move. Now, we don't know if it's going to be 120. It's whatever the stock price is at that time. It's going to split at a 19 to 1, right? So that's what's going to give you your price. We don't know what that's going to be. It can go to 3,000 the day before the split, and then you're looking at 150 a share. We don't know that yet until it happens.
Why do companies as big as Google break down and split like that?
Sometimes stocks get too expensive for the average person to get into it. You got to understand, companies, when they give out stock, that's their money for things like research and development.
But you don't have a vote in nothing that goes on with that stock. You just own a piece of it, correct?
If you have Google A shares, you get voting rights.
See.
Right, but
is this all in your book?
Yeah, that stuff is in the book. But people like us, we don't have enough shares to where our votes are going to sway much. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But it's still cool to be like, oh, I got this vote. Yeah. Like for having Berkshire Hathaway A or B stock, you could go to the annual meeting, right? And you're going to be rubbing shoulders with all these different people. Yeah. So there's benefits to it. Same thing with NFT projects. They issue out NFTs and tokens to help them put money back into the project to make it better for you, just like businesses do, right? So they split when the price gets so high that there's not enough money pouring into it. Right, beyond just the products and services that they offer. Yeah. And then when they split, it opens it up for retail investors like ourselves to get into it in the barrier to entry is a lot lower.
But that doesn't necessarily mean the company's doing bad. It just wants more investors to help level out their money, and they don't have to invest as much in it, correct?
Exactly. It doesn't mean that a company's doing bad. Okay. Google is one of the biggest companies in the world. I think they're like number 3 or 4, right? It's not going anywhere. It's not doing bad when it doesn't split. Amazon's not doing bad because it doesn't split. Tesla wasn't doing bad when it didn't split. And look at Tesla split. It split and the price went down to about $380 when the hedge funds started selling off. It got back up to $1,200 a couple of months ago. Now it's been bouncing between the 880s to 1,000. Yeah. So if you put in that, you triple X your money in a couple of months.
Yeah, right. That's why I can't wait to Google to do that.
Yeah, stock splits are definitely good times to get into strong companies. Yeah. Now again, these things are not catalysts just to invest in anything because it's low price. It still has to be a solid company that has a roadmap, that has a history of success, that has a future of new products that they're going to be rolling out, the forward guidance, which means we believe 3 months, 6 months down the road, we're going to see this increase in our revenue. It still has to have those foundations for you to invest in a stock.
Correct. Top 3 companies right now that you would invest in to somebody out there who's looking to get into it.
Yeah, Amazon and Google for sure, because they're about to do stock splits. So it's the perfect opportunity for people that are like, I've been waiting, I don't know what to do. Yep. Those 2 I would definitely get into.
That is me.
And then Apple. Apple's probably one of the most important companies, right? Yeah. It's one of the biggest holdings in the S&P 500. It's one of the biggest holdings in Berkshire Hathaway, which is Warren Buffett's company. It's one of the biggest holdings in a lot of companies. I mean, in fact, Warren Buffett, I think, just dropped another $600 million into it in this last week.
And they're projected to do a stock split right now?
No, they're not projected to do a stock split, but it's just Apple.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Everybody wants Apple.
Yeah, I think they're going to be like the first $4 or $5 trillion company. So it's continually growing. Mm-hmm. We are still buying. Well, I'm an Android guy, but every year that Apple drops a phone, it could be the same thing with one more pixel on the camera. People are still going to buy because it has the following of, I have to have that thing, especially the younger generation. Yeah. So again, it's a company that's going to be around. Yeah. So those are the top 3 that I would invest in as far as companies that are like growth companies, right? Yeah. Safe companies that I would invest in, I would look at the index funds. You got the FXAIX, which is the Fidelity version of the S&P 500.
Can you say that again? What?
FXAIX.
What is that?
It's the Fidelity's version of the S&P 500. So again, top 500 companies. Slight variations for the S&P 500. And then you have,
for those who don't know, what is S&P?
The Standard & Poor's 500, which is again the biggest 500 companies in the U.S.
Okay.
Right, or the S&P 500.
So whenever you hear S&P, that means it's the biggest 500 companies.
It's 500 companies, yeah.
Okay.
Or the biggest, most profitable 500 companies. Okay. And the thing about the index funds, like the Spider 500, which is the SPY 500, the FXAIX, and the VOO, is that you have the power of these hedge funds that are monitoring these index funds. So if a company's not performing well, they're going to move it out and move something else in, like they did with moving Tesla in.
Yes.
So it takes it off of you to do all the research, trying to find individual stocks that do well. You put it in there, right? It pays a dividend. The S&P 500 is returned 13% annually for the last 70 years. So you know your money's going to grow at least 17% year over year, and it pays about, I think I'm gonna get some of the numbers wrong, but some of them pay 3% dividends, which means by holding this, I get profit share paid back to me. Some of them pay 2-3%, depending on what stock it is or which index it is. There's different dividends that are paid out to you also. So there's a lot of benefits. The stock market is what props up the global economy. So why wouldn't we want to be a part of this?
Yeah. Can I ask one more question? Let's say when Google does that split, it's split 15 ways. 19. Or if it's split 19 ways. Is there only a certain amount of people that can jump in on this bandwagon? Or can it be infinite, 3, 4, 5 million people that can jump in and on this stock split?
So I'm not sure the amount of shares that will be outstanding. It's whatever there is right now, you have to multiply that by 20. I don't know the exact numbers on the amount of shares that are outstanding. So you can look that up. Google shares outstanding, right? Multiply that by 20. That should show you a good number of how many are going to be out there. Okay. So it's going to be quite a few for people to jump in.
Okay. I think going forward, it just seems like anything tech is the way to go as far as investing.
Yeah. For the most, again, they have to be strong tech companies.
Strong tech.
There's some tech companies that just don't have a good business model. Yeah. Unfortunately, what happened with Peloton, right? They were kind of like a one-trick pony, right? And they saw a huge jump because a lot of people were in the house, gyms were closed. But once that happened and they went back to their regular levels, they had a good idea. I don't believe that they were a strong company because they didn't diversify fast enough, and that's why they got hit. Okay. You know what I'm saying? So it still has to be a strong company, even though it's tech. Yeah. But tech's not the only space. Energy does well too. Yeah. Renewable energies do very well. So there's a lot of spaces that do very, very well. There's a ton of sectors out there.
Yeah. That a lot of people don't know about. You know what I'm saying? Tech and, like you said, energy. As far as energy, what's the way to go as far as energy companies and stuff?
That's huge in Texas, right? Because it's so many different. We just can't really say.
Yeah, it's just huge. Period. Because so you got to think about it. It depends on a lot also of who's in office. Democrats are green energy, green power, all that type of stuff. So a lot of incentives. You see with Obama, all the money that went to wind turbines, right? So they're about save the planet. So they do a lot of stuff around those type of businesses, right? So the easiest way to research is to see, first of all, which politicians are investing in what companies, right? So you can do it that way. And then you just look at what type of countries are getting these government contracts for things to be built out. And that'll tell you also. Yeah. But, sprout one off the head is ENPH. They're an energy company that I like a lot. And then Plug Power. They do hydrogen. Hydrogen energy. So they're another one that's pretty strong in my eyes too, right? But yeah, there's so many different ways that you go out and research. And the easiest, like I said, is index funds. Outside of that is just kind of follow the big money. And then outside of that, you want to start diving into your own research, however that looks to you.
Yeah. Because I think the energy car is going to take over, man. Eventually, we probably won't have gas. What you think about that one, man?
You still have Warren Buffetts and dinosaurs around. Yeah. So, you know what I'm saying? We can't completely say that, but I know that's the way that a lot of people want to go. Yeah. I don't think that we will see it in our lifetime, right? We all about 40. I don't think we're going to see it in our lifetime to where there's no more gas cars, even though they're pushing for it. I know California's the one that wants to be all electric vehicles by 2025, but it's kind of hard. Not everybody can afford an electric vehicle. You know what I'm saying? So either that's going to happen and you start fining people and arresting people for having gas-powered and diesel-powered cars, or take them and confiscate them and people have to take buses. You're right, but until the population can afford it, how are you going to do that?
That's true. Another thing too is, and, we'll wrap it up here in a little bit. With so many black people investing now in stocks, do you think that the way we're headed right now is going to create generational wealth in our community, which our community's never been known for generational wealth?
We got to buy his book. His book got a nice chart in there to break it down.
Yeah, it does break it down. It can, right? The downside that happened, and I hate to see it, is that when the meme mania happened, your GameStop and your AMCs and all these stocks just started going up, people were jumping into it based off of the hype. They still didn't know what they were doing. And so they didn't know when to get in or when to get out. And when these things came crashing down, people lost money. With us, when we lose money, we get scared and run away and we'll never look at it again. So a lot of what happened is people that weren't properly educated on it and that were just chasing the hype, now they're scared away from the market, because at the same token, while 2021 saw more minorities invest in the market than ever before, at the same time, when things start dropping, there was a mass exodus of retail investors. And those are the ones who were not properly educated on why am I even investing, other than everybody saying go invest in AMC. And I had a lot of those questions. I'm like, dude, you don't chase rockets, right? We teach people, we don't chase rockets. We don't do that. By that point, it's too late. You're probably going to buy at the top and you're going to get clapped, which we say is basically losing your money is getting clapped. You still want to look at strong companies that are going to grow over time, that have grown over time, and that have a solid outlook on their growth and why they're going to grow.
Yeah, and that's true, because like you said, there's not enough teaching and fundamentals of that. Because even just creating a business or even a restaurant or something, it's if it fails fast for us, we get out of it. We won't sit in there and wait on it. And then it's to the point too where we won't help each other too neither. You know what I'm saying? Because it might be somebody who's done it for a while, but maybe we're not educated and want to reach out to help somebody who's just jumping in it. And guys like you that are now teaching this kind of stuff and financial literacy now have to be put out here more and shared on a platform, because, like I said before, there's not a lot of this financial literacy in our community, because growing up, they would just send credit cards in the mail, and we get the credit cards, go max them out. We didn't know nothing about it. We just go out there, go buy CDs, and don't think about, okay, I got to pay this off. We just, looking for another one. And it put us so behind for us credit, and that's we're trying to dig it out of the holes that we were in, because we just didn't have the education for that.
It's by design. Remember I told you, we're a capitalist society, and it's a pyramid. You gotta have people that are struggling down here. Who else is going to go work for $15 an hour knowing they're barely getting by, but I gotta pay this credit card off, or they're gonna come take all my stuff? You know what I'm saying? They gotta get you. You have to have enough people in a state of desperation, right? Or you can't underpay people, right? So, and another thing is, we got to get out of being so microwave. I want money tomorrow. I want to get in this and get rich tomorrow.
That's hard to break from us.
It is hard to break. We don't believe in the long term
return.
Yeah, but then you think about you're on a hamster wheel for 15 years and you look up and you ain't no further. Now, if you would have invested for 15 years, you'd be in a great spot. We don't think like that though. It's like, I want my money tomorrow. You've been wanting your money tomorrow for the last 15, 20 years and you still ain't got it. Now, imagine if you would have slowed down and said, I know this ain't pretty, but I'm going to put $100 a month into this stock, right? 15 years, you're looking at $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 because of compounded interest in the natural growth of stocks. These are real numbers.
But you keep adding to the same stock, or do you move it around?
It depends on your profile.
Time and ability that you have to play around with.
Exactly. If you're a risk taker, you can get into some riskier stocks. If you just want to be slow and steady, you just keep putting it into an index fund and let it grow. Let it grow and let it grow. Like I told you, the S&P 500 has done 13%. You got a phone on you? let me pull up a matter of fact. I got this. I want to show y'all this, man. So again, these is real numbers. I can do a compound interest calculator. Let's say I start with $0, right? Because I don't make a whole lot. I don't have money to start with, so I don't have a starting balance, right? And let's say I'm gonna do $100 a month because I just want to get started in investing. I'm gonna put it into the S&P 500. Again, it's been about 13 to 15%.
This is how you go about doing it right here?
No, I'm just showing you. I'm showing you a compounding interest of what this can do for someone. S&P 500 has been 13 to 15% a year, so we're gonna do 13 low end. And let's say, when did you get your first job?
Shoot, I was 15.
You was 15, had your first job. How old are you now?
44.
44. Okay, so about 30 years. So if you would have did $100 a month from your first job, right, with no starting balance, this is what you would be at right now.
Wow.
These are real numbers.
But
real numbers.
How does that go up and down though? Like when it crashes, wouldn't that take a hit from there?
Only when you sell. Again, over the lifetime.
That's
S&P,
why you invested in a job. They really don't move the stocks for you. You just stay where you're at.
Yeah, in your 401k, you stay where you're at. But again, even when markets crash, like right now, let's say people say, "Oh, this is a market crash." For the last 4 years, we've been doing 30 to 40% a year. So this crash may have taken 30% off your portfolio, but you're still up 160%.
Yeah.
So this isn't a crash.
Yeah.
And so the sooner you get started, that's how it is, right? I just told you the S&P's been 13%. We said 30 years, that's 430%. So if we get here and this is a market crash, you're still up 400%.
Yeah, I would have seen the number he just showed me.
Yeah. He put it on the screen too, and it's all about educating yourself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's because we see, a lot of people leave here with no life insurance.
That
You know
too.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Just
Doing fish fries to raise money for
yeah,
us.
you know what I'm saying? Because there's no investment, there's no education as
Yeah.
far as that. They're just looking for day to day.
Yeah.
They're not looking ahead to the long run.
Yeah.
5, 10, 15, 20 years.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's one thing that kind of hurts us too, because a lot of us, grew up and seeing in our community people living from paycheck to paycheck.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it was more, just get out and get a job. It wasn't, okay, go out and go to college or this or that. But now it's more of the younger generation coming up who's starting to, first of all, they have more resources.
Yeah.
Internet, tools, and all kind of stuff that we didn't have. So that's putting them kind of ahead of the game far, and moving forward, that's going to be huge.
Yeah.
It's going to be huge.
And we got to educate. Yeah, we got to educate on patience. Most above everything, it has to be educated on patience. Like, it may not be overnight, but by the time you're the age, like your son, let's say when he turns 18 and you tell him, man, you start investing, or you start investing for him now. But when he gets his first job and you say, start putting away this $100. I know you want those shoes. I know you want whatever it is, but this month you're gonna have to miss out on that. Let's put this $100 away, and when he gets ready to go to college, and you know what I'm saying, I'm going to college with $100,000 at 18 years old, and I have the mindset of, I'm not gonna blow this, because I've seen what this did for me in the last 5 years. So then when I get out of college for the rest of my, however I wanna live, because we just showed what it gets you in 30 years, and if you start younger than that, I could be 40, I could be 45, saying, man, I'm good, I'm ready, I'm out of the rat race. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm gonna go ahead and retire and then do what I want to do.
What you want to do?
Do you teach any classes?
I do have sessions that I teach, like I just did. There's a company called WeCode, which is a dope organization over in Kansas City, Missouri, that teaches STEM, which is science, technology, engineering, and mathematics to inner city kids, and get them introduced to a lot
Is
of
this
that.
like summertime?
Yeah,
programs?
summertime programs. Yeah,
Very good.
And we'll have all that information too, that y'all be
You
able
want
to
to send
see.
that number?
Yeah. It's WeCode KC on Facebook. You can find them there and reach out to them, and get your kids involved in that, because it teaches them how to program and code. I teach an NFT class on how to create it and
What is
the
the
importance
age?
of it. I believe it starts at I want to say 7 is the youngest, right, and up to high school.
Okay.
But it's a great program, and it's not the only. It's others around the area that do the same thing. And then you have programs like the Jenna Club, which with Moses Wyatt that he does too, where he introduces a lot of I do financial literacy for them.
Okay.
So they do a financial literacy for those kids also, and then they also give them real world experience. Like I know they have a kid right now doing like the social media management for Wilson's Pizza. So it gives them those type of things that are
So this
next
is bringing a
generation.
social media presence to the kids.
Yeah, teaching them how do you run an Instagram or YouTube and stuff like that, whatever it is to market companies. So
What is the price of enrolling your kid in something like that?
no, those are free.
Okay. I need to get my son in something like that.
they're
for
free
this
This
summer.
is good information.
Very good.
So like I said, definitely
I'm sorry.
this will be posted. We'll have all this posted on the YouTube channel where y'all can go sign up. But this is huge because now we have people like Chris who's teaching this stuff, who's teaching it to a language that we can understand.
Yeah, that's key.
You know what I'm saying? That's key because, we hear stocks, bonds, and most people be like, what the hell? I don't know what to do. You know what I'm saying? But the way you teach it and the way y'all break it down to it, it's understandable for the regular person.
Can you plug your book too? Tell them about your book.
Yeah. The book is Stick Talk. Again, it starts out with fundamentals of the stock market. I think the first page says, what is the stock market? And we explain that. We go all the way to stock options. We do updates in the book once a month. So we're going to get into everything that I know. I'm going to be pouring it into the people. With the purchase of the book, you also get access to our Discord channel, which is a social communication platform called Discord, where you're in there with us in the community. We're sharing ideas, we're answering questions, we're asking questions, and we're just helping everybody get more educated on the landscape of investing, as well as things like day trading. So again, in that website to get that is newwallstreet.gumroad.com. We'd love to have you as a part of the community.
We so appreciate you doing this, man. It's a blessing to have you on.
Man, I'm glad to be here.
And hopefully it's not your last time on.
Man, you let me know because we can get a little deeper, right? I know we get high level on a lot of stuff, but we can definitely have another session. I geek out on this stuff. You know what I'm saying? This is I live this, right? I'm always researching. I'm always digging, trying to stay ahead of the curve and ahead of the game on things. So you guys tell me the next time you want me on here, and we can make it happen.
Love to have you, man. Thanks for coming on here.
So appreciate it. We're trying to use our platform to educate. So that's definitely something that we will be looking forward to.
Yeah.
That's it. Thanks for being the guest.
All right.
We appreciate y'all for joining us in. Like and subscribe, like and share, have some comments in the section. You want to ask Chris anything, put your comments in and we'll try to get back to you on some stuff if you have any questions on anything we talked about today. So,
Get over to the hook and try some fish.
yeah, and check shout out to the Hook for giving us the opportunity to host this show from here. Get down here. We'll have Rose put the address on the channel so you know where the location is. Come down here and get some good fish because we about to get some of this good fish too.
I am. And something to drink.
So like I said, thank you. Appreciate you for joining us in and we'll see you soon.
All right. Thanks.